Alright, what's up guys? My name is Zack, and for the last week I've been driving the 2025 Infiniti QX80 Autograph. Up front is a 3.5 liter twin turbo V6, and down below is a 9-speed automatic transmission. Now I am super excited to be making this video because I've actually taken this QX80 on a road trip from Chicago to Detroit and back, and so I have done lots and lots and lots of miles. That's why this car isn't perfectly clean for today's video, but I've spent a lot of seat time behind the wheel, and I'm excited to see if this stacks up to the Nissan Armada and if it deserves the title of the Japanese Escalade. But if you'd like to submit your own vehicle and have it reviewed here on the channel, you can head on over to my website, zackpradel.com/submit. It's a quick and easy submission form. It takes under a minute to fill out, and I come out to you. And if you'd like to see all my videos weeks or sometimes months in advance, you can head on over to my Patreon for only $5 a month. But let's get back to that 3.5 liter twin turbo V6 under the hood. Well, it is the same engine and transmission, to be fair, that you would find in the Nissan Armada. We are going to be doing a lot of comparing between these two vehicles. This makes 450 horsepower, and the question on everyone's mind, do I miss the V8? Yes, but really only in sound. I think the V6 makes plenty of power. I'm not really asking for much more, so I think it works well. Like I said, paired to it, 9-speed automatic transmission, smooth, quiet, does the job. And last but not least, this QX80 is 4-wheel drive. So how does it feel to drive the QX80? Well, it is big, but it drives really nice. It has good ride quality. It's comfortable enough on the road. You sit up high, good throttle response, everything like that. Honestly, drives nice, and I like it. Visibility is okay out the front, not great out the back. However, to be expected out of a vehicle like this, and you have plenty of cameras to help out. With that stuff out of the way, let's talk about the interior. Well, in front of me, I have a completely digital gauge cluster. This is relatively highly customizable, gives you a lot of information. It's a little bit busy at some times. However, it also uses Nissan features, so it is rather familiar, so I like it at the end of the day. On the steering wheel on the left, we do have our adaptive cruise control. This does have ProPilot Assist, which is their hands-free system that is pretty good on the highway. And off to the right, we have our selectors for that gauge cluster screen, as well as skip track. Off to the left, we do have a climate vent, steering assist, auto start stop on and off, head-up display information, and tailgate release. We also have our interior lighting on and off, auto holding brake, and power parking brake. Moving out of the door, we do have the Klipsch audio system. So this is the speaker system for the QX80. It is phenomenal. Klipsch makes very, very good products, but again, this is also available in the Armada. And moving down the door, we do have 2 levels of memory seats, power locks, power mirrors, and power windows. Moving into the center, we get our infotainment display. This does have wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. It also has Google integrated into it. It does have some nice apps. You have an integrated dash cam and interior camera. Always very fun to play with that. You get a backup camera and 360 camera. Very helpful for parking with that. And you get some other goodies. Honestly, this infotainment has been great to use, great to work with, and I don't have any complaints. Then we do get skip track and volume in the center with 2 climate vents. And then we get a screen. This is for our climate controls. Now, I will say over the week that I had it, it was laggy 2 times and would not let me select things. However, with the amount of miles I did, it's kind of a non-issue, but it did happen twice. Overall, when it does work, it is very responsive. The drive modes are selected through here. You get nice dual zone climate. It's clear and it's easy to read even in the daytime, which I like to see. Down below, we have our shifter off to the left, standard push button shifter, and off to the right, we have our ride height adjustment as well as our camera button. Moving into the center console, off to the left, you have an openable cubby with a wireless charger. Off to the right, you have an openable cubby with cup holders, so we will do a big freaking bottle test. And unfortunately, it fails. The Armada also fails, but that just is what it is. However, the crown jewel of this center console is at the back. There is a cool box. So basically, this just pumps air conditioning into this tiny little box. The Cadillac Escalade also had this. However, the Escalade was much smaller. It got much colder, but much smaller. This is a lot bigger. You could fit tons and tons of stuff. I use this as a way to keep bottles cold, but if you start off with room temperature or hot bottles, it will take absolutely forever and a day to cool them down. So put some cold bottles in here. It will keep them cold. Over the 6-hour drive from Chicago to Detroit, I was able to keep 8 water bottles cold, and that was very, very lovely. Then we have the seats. The seats are heated, ventilated, power, memory, and massaging. The massaging isn't nearly as in-depth as some other vehicles have it to be. However, it still works well. I would rather have seats with okay massage than no massage at all, so I'll take what I can get. It does have clip speakers in the headrest, in case you really want that head-thumping music right in your ears, and I like to see that. However, speaking of seats, we do have back seats, so let's go do a back seat review. So I apologize, the audio of this part of the video and the trunk review is not great. I had to use the GoPro audio because the microphone in which I was using, I later put on the back of a Skyline R32, and it fell off. So rest in peace to that. I have new microphones now, but I lost the audio from this segment. All right, so we're in the back of the 2025 Infiniti QX80 Autograph, and this is where you want to be. First of all, the seats are very comfortable. They do say Autograph on them, which is special, and they are fully adjustable. They are heated and ventilated and massaging. So the second row of the QX80 does get massaging seats, where the Armada does not, so that is one big differentiation there. And I get this really nice touchscreen to adjust my climate, ventilated seats, seat adjustment, and all of that. We do get a center console as well with 2 USB-Cs, but no cool box found here. This has been a nice space for occupants. It's been very fun to drive people around in the QX80 scene here. Cup holders, things like that, and just the carpeting down on the floor really reminds me of mid-2000s Infinitis. This sort of thicker, nice Japanese carpet, really, really nice to see. However, the true testament will be the third row, so let's hop back there. So we can move this seat up via power, and then I do see a button here. There we go. So it's kind of doing its own thing. Not the fastest mechanism in the world, but definitely, oh wow, that actually opens up a lot of space for me to get into the back. Unlike the Escalade with its executive seat package. So let's get these headrests up. There we go. And we're in the third row of the QX80, and honestly, it's pretty spacious back here. I can hit this button again, and nothing happens. No? There we go. You have to kind of long press it. There we go. I'm in the back of the QX80 with no real spatial issues. We do have heated seats in the third row. Very, very rare to find in 3-row vehicles. This has a heated third row. I do also have power reclining, so I can scoot up and scoot down. Oh, I can go. Oh, it can sandwich me. Holy crap. Okay, not what I was looking for. We do have USB-C chargers on either side as well. So every seat in the house is going to have chargers. Every seat in the house is going to have at least heating. This only has heating, heated ventilated massage, heated ventilated massage. So very, very nice here in the QX80. This is a great family vehicle, just with a pretty stiff price tag. Let's hop into the very back. We'll take a quick look at the trunk and cargo space, because it ain't much, and then we'll talk about the looks. If there was ever any question if I did take this on a road trip or not, let this be your evidence in case file 1. We do have a button here, a little gross to push after the road trip, but we do get a button. And once we are around the back, there's not a whole ton of space. You are going to find more space in the Escalade, even in its non-extended version, but we do get this shelf. It's kind of helpful sometimes, kind of not otherwise, but you can remove it. And you do get these stoppers, which are Velcro, so you can kind of keep stuff from moving around. This was actually really helpful for camera equipment. Coming over here, we have power folding for all 4 of the seats. You're gonna have to put the headrests up, so we're gonna leave that there. But then you can also raise and lower the vehicle. So you can raise it up to make it easier to get stuff in and out of. And as you can see, it is now raised up. Oh, it's going up even higher. Oh, and it's doing the front as well. Okay. That was kind of weird. But now it is higher to help you get stuff in and whatnot. We do have this nice Infiniti plate down here, a little bit of added storage, and that's pretty much it. Besides this wall outlet, which again was very helpful during filming, my GoPro didn't charge for some reason, so as I drove, I just charged it back here. I used these to sort of Velcro the GoPro into place so it didn't roll around. Very, very cool. Coming up here, we do have our tailgate and locking mechanism. Power it right back down, and then we could see the filth and stank in 4K right in our faces. Now we gotta talk about the looks. I do think that the QX80 is pretty attractive. I think it looks good. It definitely looks fresh after their update. I'm happy to see it. The updates worked well. And I think it's a relatively attractive SUV. I do like the back end more than the front end, but I've been saying that a lot about more and more Nissan and Infiniti products over the last couple of years. So I guess this falls right in line. With all of that being said, let's get on to my final thoughts. What do I think driving the Infiniti QX80 for the last week and several hundred miles? Well, this has been the perfect road trip vehicle. The cool box, the massage seats, the Pro Pilot Assist, the ride quality, the size of it. This is meant to soak up miles and miles and miles of American roads. And it does that very, very well. I like this QX80 a lot. It's been solid, it's done everything I've needed it to do, and that's all I could ask a car to do. This does this in a very luxurious way. However, I said in my Armada video that it was so nice, I can't imagine what the QX80 would be like. And honestly, not that much nicer. Now, the Armada is a wonderful, wonderful product, and the QX80 is a wonderful, wonderful product. But when you pair them side by side, they are nearly the same product, but one of them is 20 grand more expensive. This is $115,000, where the Armada that I drove was around 85, and that was the top trim model. That was all the bells and whistles. The only true thing I can find different is that cool box. Having the cool box refrigerator, whatever you want to call it, here in the QX80 is wonderful. It's not available on Armada. However, they are the same. And so I, in good conscience and good faith, cannot tell you to go buy a QX80 for 20 grand more when you could get all of this, the same feeling, the same quality materials, the same great drivetrain, the same size, same Pro Pilot Assist, same Klipsch audio system for 20 grand more. Just doesn't make sense. And I'm sorry, but the Infiniti name is not worth 20 grand. Sure, I could see from Ford to Lincoln, Expedition to Navigator, that makes sense. That Lincoln name is worth a lot. The Infiniti badge just doesn't carry the weight that it's used to. And so to me, it's just not worth that $20,000 jump. If someone showed up to my door with a semi-truck parked outside and said, "Hey, Mr. Zack, would you like a free Armada or a free QX80?" Of course I would take the QX80. But we don't live in a world like that, where the ice cream man also wheels and deals Infinitis. And so if you're going to put your hard-earned money on the line, get the Armada. It is a better deal for 99.9% the same experience. They're both great, they're both wonderful, but one of them will save you 20K, and it ain't this one. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Huge thank you to Infiniti for loaning me this vehicle for the last week and letting me take it up here to Detroit to drive the new Nissan Leaf. It was absolutely wonderful. Huge thank you to G. Schmitz for facilitating the cleaning and delivery of this vehicle, and of course the Midwest Automotive Media Association. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys.